Let everyone simply do what they truly believe they must do. I have left X, and I believe that the public needs to understand that, in effect, the point we are making is that anyone who remains on X is actively feeding those policies of hatred, quite apart from the fact that this network is today a breeding ground for hate. What needs to be done? Obviously, as I've been saying all along, we are not vassals of Elon Musk nor of Trump. And I've consistently advocated for the thorough regulation of the major American tech companies.
A senior European leader is walking away from Elon Musk's X and making it political. Spain's Deputy Prime Minister, Yolanda has announced she is leaving social media platform X, calling it a place of hate. In a blunt statement, Diaz said Spain and Europe are not vassals of Elon Musk or Donald Trump. The move marks a rare public break by a sitting European Deputy Prime Minister from one of the world's most influential digital platforms. Diaz had already stepped back from X last year, citing concerns over Elon Musk's conduct, particularly during U.S. President Donald Trump's inauguration. According to Diaz, the platform's direction under Musk has normalized hostility and political intimidation.
Let everyone simply do what they truly believe they must do. I have left X, and I believe that the public needs to understand that, in effect, the point we are making is that anyone who remains on X is actively feeding those policies of hatred, quite apart from the fact that this network is today a breeding ground for hate. What needs to be done? Obviously, as I've been saying all along, we are not vassals of Elon Musk nor of Trump. And I've consistently advocated for the thorough regulation of the major American tech companies. I've stated that they should come down from their cloud to pay their fair share of taxes. It's simply not fair that Spanish businesses have to compete under these conditions, is it? They comply with labor rights, with collective agreements, they pay their taxes, and yet it turns out there's an ultra-rich elite who are friends of Trump, and in our country, they simply don't pay any taxes. Well, I believe we need to regulate, and quite simply, the conditions must be for absolutely legal competition. But it's important to understand, and this is a claim being made by Spanish and European companies, that the algorithm also excludes Spanish businesses, and consequently, there's a practice of unfair competition in market terms that is completely unjust. Therefore, we must regulate, pause from taxation, pause through its usage, pause and the battle, pause, obviously, pause against the Trump model. Look, before Christmas, Trump made it explicitly clear in a written document, which you are as familiar with as I am, what his conception and his offensive strategy against Europe is. But he has also told us, from his very first executive order to his most recent one regarding labor matters, that he does not want digital platforms to be regulated in the world of work or in the economic sphere. So, what I believe is that we need to regulate the tax system, its uses and labor laws, just like all other business owners in our country do. But their media outlets, and Spanish media are also making a claim, are excluded due to the perverse competitive practices of big North American tech companies. And this, I believe, should not be tolerated.
Her exit comes as X faces mounting criticism in Europe over hate speech, political polarization, and platform accountability.
A fresh storm is brewing for Elon Musk's Platform X, as Europe steps in over alarming AI abuse. The European Union has launched a sweeping investigation into Grok, X's AI chatbot. After global outrage over its ability to generate sexually explicit images, including images of children. The controversy erupted late last year when Grok produced digitally undressed images of women and minors in response to user prompts. Following widespread backlash, X initially restricted the tool to paying users, before eventually blocking all users from generating revealing images of real people. Now, the European Commission says it is examining whether X properly assessed and mitigated risks before deploying Grok across the EU.
Today, the Commission is opening an investigation into Grok under the Digital Services Act because we believe that X may have breached the DSA. We have seen over the last weeks and months anti-Semitic content. We have seen non-consensual deepfakes of women, and we have seen child sexual abuse material. In Europe, no company will make money by violating our fundamental rights. One will argue that X has limited this to premium subscribers. Let's be very clear, child sexual abuse material is not a premium privilege. Because such output has no place in Europe, and we need to protect our citizens from potential future harms. This is why this investigation into Grok will allow us to look deeper into the matter to protect our women, our children, and our citizens. When you look at the risk assessment reports that X has to publish and submit to the Commission under the DSA, this is an obligation. These are publicly accessible, you can see them. There is one truth, is that Grok is nowhere in these risk assessment reports. What does this mean? It means that X has simply not assessed the risk that Grok or the Grok features integrated into X are posing to our citizens in the EU. This is already a fundamental issue, is that we expect companies to mitigate risks stemming from the services and to make sure that they get their house in order, which doesn't seem to be the case here.
Senior EU official Henna Virkkunen called sexual deepfakes a violent and unacceptable form of degradation, especially targeting women and children. She said the probe will determine whether X upheld its legal duties or treated citizens' rights as collateral damage. In a statement to the AFP news agency, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Europe will not tolerate unthinkable behavior, such as digital undressing of women and children. It is simple. We will not hand over consent and child protection to tech companies to violate and monetize. The harm caused by illegal images is very real, she added. Responding to the scrutiny, X pointed to earlier statements claiming it removes child sexual abuse material and reports violators to law enforcement. However, EU officials say those steps came too late and that risks were not adequately evaluated before Grok's launch. The investigation has been opened under the Digital Services Act, which forces big tech to curb illegal and harmful online content. There is no deadline for the probe, but EU officials say fines are possible, stressing the goal is to change platform behavior. This comes after the EU fined X around $140 million in December over deceptive design practices, a penalty Musk called crazy. The fine has not yet been paid, though officials say X still has time to comply. Meanwhile, scrutiny is growing globally, with California's Attorney General launching a separate investigation into Grok's explicit content. Grok remains banned in Indonesia and Malaysia, and the UK regulator Ofcom has also opened a formal probe. Earlier, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned Elon Musk's artificial intelligence chatbot Grok after it drew global outcry and scrutiny for generating sexualized deepfakes of people.
The actions of Grok and X are disgusting and they're shameful. And frankly, the decision to then turn this into a premium service is horrific. And we're absolutely determined to take action here. We've made it clear that X has to act, and if not, Ofcom has our full backing and will introduce and are introducing legislation. Mr. Speaker, to update the House, I have been informed this morning that X is acting to ensure full compliance with UK law. If so, that is welcome, but we're not going to back down.
As regulators close in worldwide, pressure is mounting on X to rein in its AI or face tougher consequences ahead.